Hello, you beautiful bastards! I tried to make a second episode for the Kingdom Come Deliverance game, but unfortunately it just felt a bit off. So as I talked about before, I think I'll stick to these me talking about my spiritual experiences videos instead of Let's Plays. But we shall see what happens in the future. But in today's video we have the game Zombie Army 4, and it seems pretty fun. I haven't played it much at all. I just tried it out quick with the settings, etc. and played some horde mode, which is what you're seeing now. And yeah, I did this recording after. And I think it might be a good game to have in the background, so we'll try it out. But in this video I want to talk about how getting started with this kind of spiritual work has helped me so far in everyday life. And a little bit about meditation and mindfulness stuff, which is very important. So, when I first realized that this stuff has actually helped me already was when I was faced with a situation that usually would have made me very angry. Because I've had some issues with anger, not the kind that flames up and I start being verbally or physically abusive towards other people, but rather a burning anger deep within myself that was not very pleasant, especially when I tried to force it away. Then I just felt fake on top of everything, like, why you be suppressing these feelings, you big wuss? Thanks ego, you're really helping me out, huh? And this anger was very common in this relation to pain, like hitting my toe on the floor, and yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about. But this particular situation I referred to was similar. I experienced some intense physical pain, and I felt these feelings of anger burst through my body when I suddenly became aware of what was happening. And I think this is key here, becoming aware of it. Before I wasn't aware in the same sense as now. So I became aware, and when I pointed my awareness straight into the anger, sort of like flying full force bang into the anger, instead of trying to smother it, it almost instantly went away with after a deep breath. And all I was left with was laughter, actually. Like, why did I get so angry? Who does it help? Me? Absolutely not. I don't feel better in any way being angry. It's just the opposite, really. So that was like the first time I can remember that I actually handled it with such ease, these eruptions of anger. And I could see that, damn, there is really something to explore here. And what I've realized is that the resistance is usually the thing that causes the pain. If I hurt myself and I try to resist it, it hurts so much more than if I really dig into the pain immediately and take it for what it is. It's like, what really labels this as bad? What is even bad, really? It's just a sensation that I'm so used to labeling as something bad, and immediately it starts a snowballing effect where I get angry, I start thinking depressive thoughts, and my mood is ruined for a while. So I urge you to do an experiment with this. Next time you get hurt, and I'm talking physically here, this will probably work for mental pain as well, but in my opinion it's way harder. So I would say start with physical pain. So when you get hurt, like your toe gets rammed in the wall or something, try doing the exact opposite of what you usually are doing. Instead of trying, to flee from the pain and suppress it, really focus in on the spot where it hurts and live in that pain, be that pain. For me at least, that makes it so much better. I have a phobia for needles, so I'm looking forward to apply this technique next time I'll have my blood work done or similar. It feels like probably a 50% chance of success, but I'll let you know how it goes. But of course, this is more related to the mental pain or mental unpleasantness. I don't know if that's a word. But speaking of mental pain, what I also try to do to stabilize my mood is a quite similar technique. And I'm not really talking about severe mental pain here, but rather a bad mood. So for me it was very common to come home from work and not just feel 100% I felt very in my own head, not really feeling like talking and being, you know, kind of a bummer. And this happened quite often, and I could actually feel the change happening in my body. I could go from happy and content feeling to just feeling really down for no apparent reason. But I think most of it is a response to me being thrown into this fantasy land of the mind, where it can get pretty dark in there. And, you know, thinking about some mistake I did or something, and then the whole snowballing effect starts and it all goes downhill from there. But I've gotten some progress with this. I'm saying it's not easy at all, and but it feels like it's getting easier the more you practice it. So as I said, I can pretty much always feel this change happen within me, and when I actually become aware of the change and not just feeling it, but actually being aware as it happens, it tends to stop the process. Because this is what I have noticed with awareness, and it's really cool. When I point it like a laser focus awareness on things, be it physical pain, thoughts, emotions, etc., it feels like this laser is erasing the thing that I pointed at. So that's pretty cool, but it really starts taking a crack at it. So this is something I'm going to keep practicing. So when I start to feel the emotions going down to a lower vibrational state, I point my awareness to it, and it really helps. Because without this awareness, it can just run freely and rule my mind, and as I said, keep on getting darker without my real notice of it. I just let it happen by default, you know. And I think it's quite important to note that suppressing things does not seem like a good idea. It will float up and bite you later, but rather notice when it happens, become aware of it, and just let it go. Like the waves in the ocean, they come and they leave, so just let the feelings leave after you have become aware of them. And another thing I've noticed, if I'm aware of the present moment, which is hard to maintain at longer durations, but when I do, nothing really gets to me. Most bad things and emotions become alive by the mind utilizing past experiences or making up new ones from the future in this lower state of consciousness. And how do I practice being aware of the present moment? Usually what I do is I try to use this laser focus that I talked about and zoom in on different parts of my body, like my feet touching the floor when I walk, my breath, my vision, and everything I see. And worth to note is you don't want to be thinking while you're doing this and engaging your inside voice like, oh, there is a tree, it's pretty big and it moves in the wind. No, you do all these observations, but just simply by being in the moment and observe without any judgment at all. Because what we do, or at least I do, is I judge everything so quickly without being aware of it. It just happens naturally. Like, yes, the tree is large, but it also looks kinda ugly with all the branches missing, and it's probably prettier in the summer times when it has all the cool green leaves and vibrating with life. You know, right there I'm posting my judgment upon the tree. So just leave it be. Watch it just by the way it is without engaging the mind. See the mind as a filter who filters things out to its liking. So just see the raw, unedited footage of reality, if that makes sense. And you can use this focus for the sounds you are hearing also. And of course, when the mind chatter starts, you can use it on that as well. The difference, I think, between using it on mind chatter versus reality is that mind chatter will be eliminated. The tree will not, because it's right there in the physical world. But the mind chatter, well, yeah, it only exists in the mind. So when you see the tree for what it really is, it will be much more appealing than when your mind adds filters to it. Of course, the mind doesn't always twist things in a negative perspective, as it may sound like when I talk about it, but you don't really need its opinion of the tree to really appreciate it anyway. And also what I have noticed when starting this is that the ego mind is so worried about not being in control. So after a while it might take on a new, more positive character and be like, whoa, this tree is amazing, dude, look at it. But as I said, we don't need to hear it, we can already feel it like that. It's like when I have a negative thought or a judgment of something and I realize and think, damn, why do you do this? Stop being so judgmental. And you know it, that's the ego again talking on a different form, trying to fool, well, me. And you see what's happening here, it's so funny, the ego is having a conflict with the same ego, but it has taken on another costume. So instead of thinking these things, just point the awareness to the bad or judgmental thought you're having. It's actually a big difference, even if it seems like a long shot maybe now. If you think, like I said before, who is aware of this thought, or where is the information in this thought going to? If you are not stuck in a ego trap, that entity that you feel observing this information, the silent witness, your true self, that thing is awareness that I'm talking about. And that awareness doesn't think. Thinking happens within your mind. And as we have said, you are not your mind. You are the awareness behind the mind. So you are pretty much pre-mind. A little thing to consider that I like to visualize is this. If your vision was removed, then your sense of smell, your hearing is gone, your sense of taste, then really all of your bodily sensations. And at last we remove your mind. Can you feel what is left? The thing that is left is awareness. Awareness. Sean Conneryish. But yeah, awareness which comes before any of your senses. If you get into a deep state of meditation, you can sort of feel this. And I might do a video on meditation and how I do it later, since this is getting pretty long, but just sitting still and be fully aware of what's going on inside the mind and inside your body is a good start, like keeping your awareness on your breath, and especially the stillness between breaths. As I always say though, guys, don't take this stuff as any form of truth. I'm saying that you can experience truth for yourself if you want to get into it. So the things I said in this video is not guaranteed to be correct. You should do your own research, but this is where I am right now and how I feel about these things. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Thanks for watching, and oh yeah, I think I'm gonna let the gameplay run. I did this horde mode and I think it's 12 levels, and I got to level 12 and then I died before completing it, so that was quite of a bummer. But yeah, thanks for watching and stay with awareness.
General neutralized. Enemy down. Necromancers raising the dead. Kill confirmed. Don't touch those pentagrams. All out of ammo. Giant down. Too slow. Armored giant. That didn't like it. Huh. Not this time. Suicide down. Not this time. giant spider.